Thanks, Tim, and thanks for having us again, and everyone joining for your interest. I'm going to do my best to keep it to 10 minutes and do it a little bit differently today. Rather than a page turn, I'm just going to pull out a few key slides from our annual presentation. And if everyone's more interested in the 101, they can read through in more detail. But what I really want to focus on today is what we've got to be really excited about at Felix and what's coming. So, Colin, if you're there, do you mind flicking us down to our slide number 12 per the bottom right-hand corner? And I'm going to quickly cover a little bit about what Felix is and why it matters with what we're doing and who for, and then get into what's happening now. So as Colin's flicking through, I'll just get going. We build enterprise technology and software for construction and related industries. And our platform is all about connecting, as you can see here, that's the slide, large contractors across construction, and you can see asset owners and services contractors with all of their third-party vendors, subcontractors and suppliers who build and maintain their capital works projects. So you can see they're big names and they work often with thousands of different subbies and consultants and suppliers to actually build the projects and deliver the works. So we're a platform with enterprise technology for the contractors, and it's a marketplace of all of the vendors. So other contractors can find and engage with other vendors in the marketplace who might have been onboarded by, say, another contractor. Should be some familiar names on the deck if you're any sort of familiarity with the industry. Probably notably their CIMIC Group, which was our most recent announcement yesterday, who've renewed their 3-year term. And CIMIC is Australia's largest contractor group. And if you're familiar with them, you'll know that they're owned by ACS Group, who are the parent company, the world's largest contractor group. So we think there's significant tailwinds for sales into that global group. Probably just before we move on, I guess why vendor management and procurement, what's the sort of perfect storm that we're seeing at the moment? It's the operating environment. So think about things like ESG and the Modern Slavery Act coming in, the reporting requirements around that, net zero, and the shift towards that. So ESG for all of these companies is massive, as we just heard from the previous presentation, and their reporting requirements around it, and third-party vendor compliance. So it's never been more important to understand who the vendors are you're working with, and automating processes and reporting around those. So Felix, what we're seeing en masse is the industry, a shift towards managing that at the enterprise level across all their projects. And Felix, we believe, is globally best in class at what we do in this sector. So Colin, we'll shift down to slide 14, if you can. A little bit behind time, so I'll spin through. So look, what we're really excited about at the moment, and if you sort of, our focus there, if you just remember the names on those slides or any of them, has been on selling, significantly investing into our enterprise solution. We've probably invested about $20 million to date in building out that platform and selling into the Australian and New Zealand market, and built really great traction there, and what we believe is a sort of market leading vendor management and procurement platform for our sector. But what's super exciting at the moment is we've now got a significant step change opportunity to really go global with Felix, and that's predominantly through our partnership with Innate. And if you're not familiar with Innate, they're a global leading construction software suite. So Felix is really focused on procurement, and Innate, like the likes of Oracle or Autodesk, those really big names, they have a much broader solution suite. So in February of this year, we formed a strategic partnership with Innate, and in May this year, we had a strategic placement that they were the cornerstone investor in, and invested $2.7 million into Felix of a total $7 million round, well supported by leading institutions as well. So Innate, just by way of context, they're owned by Kiewit Corporation, who are the third largest construction company in the United States. So really significant backing and ownership, and was spun out as a wholly owned subsidiary. So Felix is a really neat hand in glove fit with Innate's broader solution. It was a real gap in their broader product suite, and we've formed this partnership to really fill a burning hole for their 850, circa 850 global customer base. So what we're in the process now is integrating our platform. So there's deep data sharing and collaboration between the platforms, as well as a sales and marketing go-to-market strategy, where we'll be leveraging all of Innate's global sales teams, project delivery and implementation teams to implement the software, and support teams to actually support user support in all of the different regions. And we've got a commercial arrangement with them where on a per contract basis, we pay a commission. So if we zoom out, where we're at now, that really sort of the nexus of is a really significant step change opportunity and really capital light global expansion model, which is obviously really important in the current operating environment for companies like us, to significantly expand the customer base of Felix, generate pipeline through Innate's existing global customer base, and continuing, we've got a number of joint opportunities in the pipeline with them where we've formed joint bids. As what we're seeing more and more of is large contractors that come to markets with big RFPs, vendor management, third-party vendor management and procurement is really stacked ranked at the top or close to in order of their priority. So that makes us a really strategic priority for Innate to solve that problem for their existing and prospective customers. So we're really excited with some of the international names that are quite advanced stages of the pipeline from multiple regions, and expect to be able to bring news to market, hopefully on some of these soon. But yeah, so real game-changing opportunity, and a significant amount of work's been going on, I guess, behind the curtains to really bring this to light. We've been, just from a platform point of view, a heap of work focused on at the moment of internationalization of the platform to make sure that we're really at a strong state of readiness. So that's things like multilingual capability, data localization, as that's a requirement if large contractors internationally are working on big government jobs, or GDPR compliance. We're fortunate that a number of our existing large Australian domiciled customers have used Felix on major international construction projects and have global supply chains. So we've already baked in a lot of internationalization in the platform, and it's the last, I guess, couple of big ticket items to make sure that we're really turnkey ready for global rollout. Colin, just to finish off, we'll go down to slide 18. Looking, we've got a minute and a half or so to go, Tim. And we're just going to talk about our, I guess, FY23 priorities and what we're really focused on. As I mentioned, significant investment in the platform to date and a really strong and growing pipeline. So for us at the moment, we've got the cost base and the infrastructure that we need to really leverage that top line growth, and that's our focus this year. We've really dug into the Innate opportunity and Kiewit, their parent company. So the framework is there, and we're at a stage of readiness now where it's just about execution. Like I said, there's a number of significant deals at the advanced stage of the pipeline from international regions. So conversion of those. Got some really exciting platform initiatives outside of the internationalization things that I spoke about. So around AI, moving into contract management, enhanced capability. So we're really excited about the value that will unlock with our existing and prospective customer base as well. Hello, Tim, I can see you.
Keep going.
And yeah, lastly, all about capital efficiency. I think in the current market environment, we're operating really lean. I think we're fortuitous that we raised the placement when we did. The balance sheet's strong, and we've got the team now that and through the partnership to significantly scale the platform in terms of key customer adoptions and expand globally. So exciting times at Felix. Right on 10 minutes, Tim.
Well done, Mike. Well done. Can we just go back a step? And so you've just renewed the contract with Felix Group for 3 years. Is for a client, is it a cost benefit in using your platform, or is it time efficiencies, or is it the compliance aspects?
There's significant efficiencies in automation of processes right throughout. If you think about the number of teams that they'd have evaluating large bids, approval workflows at all stages, so real automation of those processes throughout, as well as the big focus is on supply chain risk management. And in the current environment with input costs, global supply chain, availability of talent, we've seen a number of large construction companies hit the wall through really razor thin margins. Felix is our core capability in providing visibility and process governance through the supply chain is really critical.
Yeah, I mean, that was my next question in terms of how do you assist in that supply chain, given we have seen some building collapses recently? Can you just kind of give us a bit more colour?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that contractors have a critical dependence on their third-party subs to actually, they do all the work, the subcontractors, no contractors do any of their work. But there's been the paradigm shift is traditionally project directors would just have everything on their black book, and there would be no organisational visibility on who the vendors are you're working with, what their capacity is and viability is to actually work and deliver the jobs that you're engaging with. So at enterprise level across all projects, it really provides, and in banking, it's called Know Your Customer. Here we've got Know Your Vendor, understand who you're working with and what visibility of all risks through data availability. So when we go to make decisions, that data is there and we can make informed business decisions on the fly and manage risk.
And in Australia, what's kind of your average contract size, and what's the sales process look like, and you know, give some more colour on your client base?
Sure. Yeah, traditionally our annualized contract value has been at around that 70K mark, AUD. We think we've got a real near-term line of sight to getting that up over 6 figures. Also through the innate global opportunities, we think that those will come at a significantly higher clip, and it'll be nice to invoice some of those in USD with the current exchange rate as well. What was the last part of your question?
Just on sales process. How does that work?
Typically about 6 months. It's enterprise selling, so there's a lot of stakeholders involved. And if anything, I think in the current environment, economic environment, coming through COVID, that's probably been our biggest challenge, is deal drift and that sales cycle extending, because companies just probably get a little bit more nervous around committing resources to change management and pulling the trigger on new strategic initiatives. But I think we've seen the bottom of that, certainly with COVID, and seeing that improving.
And so you mentioned Innate, who's your new JV partner. They've got about 850 global customers. How are they helping you? Who's their parent? What was that? Where were they spun out of?
Kiewit Corporation, KIEWIT. And if you go back to our placement announcement in March, there'll be some more detail in that preso. So obviously Kiewit are a key target for us. They're the US's third largest, I think, construction company, and maybe 200 or so in the Fortune 500, been around for 150 years. So Innate are a wholly owned subsidiary, and they're a global construction software leader. Rather than build themselves, they've decided to partner with Felix. They've invested into Felix, partner with Felix, and they think this is a real burning hole across their existing customer base and and obviously joint bids moving forward. So they've told us expect a lot of pent up demand. So for us, it's just what's coming down the pipeline. There's, I think, going to be a significant. That's not going to be the issue. It's for us, it's execution as we're taking a big step up.
And a bit more capex in terms of people and adapting your platforms for kind of offshore jurisdictions.
Yeah, we've sort of ramped the team following our IPO in January 2021. So we think we've got the team now, and as I said, we're really leveraging Innate's global resources and teams and infrastructure. Their sales teams are going to be selling Felix. They'll be implementing it and they'll be supporting it. So that provides us a really great leverage to drive scale without commensurate investment into headcount to deliver on those deals.
I mean, it sounds like a great deal. The market really hasn't jumped on it. What are the milestones you're looking for towards the end of the year?
Yeah, I think, and chatting to sort of institutions as well, everything looks fantastic on paper. We need to frank this now with a few contract wins that come through the partnership and some international contract wins. And I think that sort of really crystallises everything that we're talking about. That's exciting. So for those of us working sort of behind the scenes, where, you know, it's palpable, the sense of excitement and the tangibility of it. We've just got to execute that and deliver to market now.
Thanks, Mike. I've always found it a fascinating story. Thanks for your time. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Tim. Great to see you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.